Hello, parents of Shelton Academy. This is a video that I'm gonna record in substitution for the meeting that we didn't have right before all the coronavirus started. And the purpose of the meeting was to reflect on some points, on some tips that we called in this presentation to improve the relationship with our children. That doesn't mean that I'm going to tell you how to parent your children, because that's not the point. It's just a reminder of different clues that we can work on as parents and improve what we are how we are communicating with our children, how we are helping them solve their problems, how we are telling them what are the right choices. And the idea is that this prolonged in a long time, it's going to help them to choose their path in more with more freedom and with more responsibility. And the 5 tips that I'm going to share with you, I related them to the 5 senses as an mnemotechnic rule so that you can easily remember them. And the each of the tips is one of the senses. As a start, I would like to reflect on a situation that happened to me not long ago. I was in a park. I was with my 4 children. Now I have 5, but at the moment I had 4, and my 4-year-old son went through a path. He crossed a little dirt path, and a lady went to him and said that he was doing something wrong. I didn't really know what he did wrong, but I thought to myself, it's okay if somebody tells him something that he's done wrong, because I think that some of the lessons in life, we don't listen to our parents, we listen more to other people. So I said, okay, it's okay, and there is no problem. But then the woman asked him where the mom was, and he pointed to me, and then she came to me, and I didn't like it that much because she was doing very uncomfortable gestures, and her face was not nice at all, and she was saying very rude things about me and my parenting and my responsibility. And that was because that path, they just planted seeds in order to have flowers, and I didn't realize that. So I was very mad. I just kept quiet and say I'm sorry, but I was getting very um, mad inside myself. So she went back to where she was sitting, and a little while after, she dropped something to the floor she didn't realize, and my 4-year-old son went where she was, and he picked it up for her and gave it to her with a smile on his face. And at that moment, I thought, okay, he's given me a big lesson here. He's taught me what love is and what forgiveness is. And if it wasn't for him, maybe I would have not realized mm, how we have to treat others. So this is just a start to make you think, to open your mind, and make you think that most of the times our children are here to teach us lessons and to be better persons and to be happier. And I'm 100% sure that you are the best parent for your children. And I'm also 100% sure that your children are trying to teach you something. And the sooner you realize what they are trying to teach you, the easier it's going to be to parent him or her. And I'm going to explain it even more with the first tip. Tip number one is related to smell because it helps us figure out what we can do to be happier. If we find out what they are trying to teach us with their behavior or with the ways that sometimes we think, oh my God, I don't understand why he's doing this or why she's doing this. We've tried to teach her or him as much as possible with best manners and with our best interest. And how come they are doing this to us? And the answer is that they're probably trying to tell us a message. I'm gonna ask you to think of a situation that you experienced with your parents when you were little, and a situation that where your parents were feeling happy, were feeling satisfied, and it's probably maybe little things, you holding your hand to your father or mother, going for a walk, playing a game, listening to a story that they were telling us. And if you look at their faces and you realize what feeling they are experiencing, it's probably satisfaction for being spending time with their child. And the reason that you keep it in your memory is because that's the type of feelings that as children we are seeking. We are looking for our parents to enjoy being parents and enjoy being with us as children. So that's exactly what makes children happier. And when they make it, they really have their goal met. But if they don't, they're gonna try to fix it or to help you be happy and enjoy life and small little details and spending time with them by looking for other ways to tell us which probably are not so good. So I'm gonna tell you an example. When there was, I had my first son, and when he was 6 months old, I was overwhelmed in my room with all the things that I had to do in the house. I was very tired. I came back from work, and I still had to do some work to send, and I was feeling sick. So I just broke down and started crying. And my 6 months old son realized it. He was playing with his cars, which was his favorite game at that time. And he came up to me and it put these funny faces in front of my face until he made it. He made me smile. That's what he really wanted. He wanted to see me smiling. And then when he was done with making me smile, he went back to play with the cars. And that made me think, okay, there should be something that I have to change here so that I don't get as overwhelmed with the house. Maybe I have to organize better the chores or whatever. So that made me be a better person, and that made me feel happy about being home. If I would have not listened to him with that, let's say, good behavior, trying to tell me something, he probably would have chosen another way. he probably would maybe throw the car to the air, or but they when they feel that they are not getting to what the point is, then they find other ways. Because when we it's like with illnesses. Sometimes we know that we have to stop working a little bit and to rest a little bit more or to have fun with our family, but we keep going and working and working and working, and then until one day our body mm, just gets sick, and that's the way that finally finds to make you rest. So this is kind of the same thing. If kids don't find that with positive um, ways of talking or saying things, don't get to the point, then they are gonna try other ways until they finally make it. So they are very persistent about it. Um, and what they are really doing is telling us with a megaphone very high and very clear what they want from us, but not in a very direct way. So we have to use the smell and try to figure out what they are saying. And sometimes it's going to be huge, and it's going to be very loud and maybe too loud the way they say it. But that's the way they work. It's like they are using a megaphone. And this is a picture that shows how children like their parents to feel. They like to, when they see him or her enjoying spending time with them, when they forget about a little bit about being an adult and um, um, feeling what a child is and how much fun they can have. And this is what they are looking for. Now, tip number two, it's related to the ear because it's about listening, and it's listening not just to thoughts or to simple messages, such as good morning or how has it been in school or um, let's do this together. It's more about listening to emotions. And this is a very tricky ability because we think that we are listening to emotions, but they really are not getting the message that we are listening to them. It has to be in a specific way, or maybe just reflect on the way we do it so that we can improve a little bit, because kids a lot of times don't feel like we are listening to their emotions. And for intervention when there are emotional problems, this is one of the keys. If we find a way to make them feel like their parents are listening to them, and they um, use the strategies so that they communicate with the children, and the children feel like they are being listened, um, a lot of emotional problems go away. But at the same time, as it's the key to solve emotional problems, it's also the most difficult one because we are not used to it. And I'm going to explain to you why. These are the common reactions when we see a kid like in this situation where she is shut down and she's probably not willing to talk to anybody, and she um, tries to get away from the rest of people around her. And our job is to make her comfortable and help her to listen to what's happening because she probably doesn't even know what's happening and express it with words.